Piyush, you have some thoughts about how companies have looked at this and how they need to look at it, as particularly those who are pegged or connected to consumers and loyal consumers. Tell us how you've been seeing this from your vantage point.
We were already living in a world where we were all projecting a level of digital adoption of consumption of both goods and services at a level of pace that was forecasted. What this has done is accelerated that about tenfold in the last few months. And I'm not the only person who is now saying that. A lot of people have said only question is whether it is 10x or it is 50x that curve has gone up, right? So what that means is that we are now in a possibly an irreversible position of that acceleration of consumption of all goods and services and digital interaction with your customer that will need to happen. So that's again means that a fundamental revisit of operating models of the way organizations are designed to deal with customers, right? And this is affecting every possible industry, right? So this is not just consumer industry or e-commerce. It is affecting every possible industry. We're working, for example, in China with a number of organizations who are fundamentally revisiting the distribution supply chain or the distribution end of automobile, right? Because they just do not believe there will be footfall at dealerships on one hand. We're working with life sciences organizations who are having to revisit how will they start to have interaction with medical health professionals, because that's, no medical health professional is willing to increase their risk of exposure by meeting possible distribution and sales professionals from life sciences organizations, right? So on one hand, you've got a fundamental rebuild of the way you interact and with your consumer. On the other hand, as Mr. Manjal mentioned, you have to now plan for a massively elastic cost base, because you have to face up to the fact that there are scenarios which will require you to go all the way down to zero production, all the way down to zero supply, right? So the elasticity in cost base, which was always, no businessman ever planned for beyond a certain percentages, as now has to go all the way down to zero and back up, right? So that elasticity of cost base will require a fundamental revisit of your entire organization's internal supply model and your operating model, right? Now,
right.
The thing that I have said before, which I'll say again, is that those organizations who are coming out of this in a reasonably okay position must not make the folly of looking at cost from a perspective of, by stealth.